Heavyweight Champion of the World, Triple D, Daniel Dynamite Dubois. And his opponent, also from London, England, an Olympic gold medal champion, 31 fights as a professional, 28 victories, 25 of those 28 victories by KO, the two-time heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn this press conference over to our host, Mr. Ade Oladipo.
Thank you very much, Michael. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the very beautiful, historic, and iconic London Guildhall. Welcome to another huge, monumental event, and welcome to Riyadh Season Wembley Edition. Look, I've been very fortunate to have attended all the Riyadh Season events, from our very first one, Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou, to our most recent event in LA, Terence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov. And all of the events have exceeded our expectations. And all the events have got bigger and bigger. Not just fight night, that's not what Riyadh Season is about, but fight week. More excitement, more events, more engagement, and most importantly, more eyeballs on the sport that we love, boxing. What Riyadh Season has done for fighters is, for some, look, it's given them maybe opportunities that they weren't going to get. For some, it's given them the spotlight that they craved. And for two fighters here in our main event, it was an opportunity to rebuild and remind people as to how good and dangerous they can be. Daniel Dubois entered Riyadh Season off the back of a defeat to Alexander Usyk. 2 fights and 2 wins later against Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgović, he's now rebuilt. He's one of the best fighters in the world, and he's the current IBF heavyweight champion. Anthony Joshua entered Riyadh Season, and it was Otto Wallin, a stern test on paper, that he came through with flying colours. And then it was Francis Ngannou, a man who had previously caused Tyson Fury so much problems. Anthony destroyed him in a couple of rounds. So here we are, 2 fighters in arguably the form of their lives that will compete in front of 96,000 spectators at the National Stadium. Anthony Joshua versus Daniel Dubois for the IBF heavyweight title in front of the best fight fans in the world, the British fight fans. Now, look, normally, I'm going to break protocol a little bit here. Normally, you go to the promoters, and I will get to them, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, but I want to go to the fighters first. Daniel, I want to come to you. You are the champion, and I want you to clear something up for us, Daniel. The rumours are circling. Where is your trainer, Don Charles? Is there an issue? Is it a case of Don is just sick and not here? What's happened? We haven't seen Don all week.
Listen, as long as they're in my corner on fight night, I'm all right.
But everything is okay?
Yeah, everything's good, you know.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let's move on from that and let's put that rumour to bed. All right, let's start with you, Daniel. Again, you are the current IBF heavyweight champion. You can see that the camera is here. This is a fight of extreme magnitude, right? They're saying this is the biggest British fight card we've ever seen. You headline it. How are you feeling? How's preparation gone?
Everything's gone well. Training camp's gone brilliant. I'm ready to fight. Let's go.
That you are, I know. You've wanted this fight against AJ for a while, not just after the Hrgović fight, before that. You've called him the king. You said you're the king slayer. Why have you wanted this fight against Anthony Joshua so badly?
Well, it's a resurrection story of my career, and, you know, I'm just on a roll right now, so, you know, I just want the biggest challenges and make a name for myself and create history.
You've had some ups and downs, like every fighter, every top fighter. The ups recently have been very, very good. Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgović. When did it switch, Daniel? When did you realise that you are one of the best heavyweights in the world? When did it click that you can compete at the top table?
No, I've always known that. You know, I haven't got too much to say right now. I'm just ready to go on Saturdays. It's a great show, and I just can't wait to go.
Yeah, but let's move on. I'm going to come back to you, Daniel, though you are going to answer a few more questions, hopefully. AJ. Here we go again, right? You've been there, you've done it, you've seen it all. You've been in big events. You've been in big events since you turned pro. What's it like to be at another big event, Riyadh season at Wembley, home of what I think was your biggest success against Vladimir Klitschko?
What a blessing. Thanks for everyone coming today, but it's a blessing to be back again, to be able to perform, prove to myself, prove to my team that I've listened to the instructions in training camp, and we're ready to rock and roll. And I'm in supreme condition, both physically and also mentally. So yeah, it's good to be back, and I've been watching some of the old fights as well, just adding some fuel to the fire, ready to rumble, reminding myself what I can do and what I'm capable of.
We all know exactly what you can do. Daniel Dubois is a name that maybe many thought wouldn't have been your opponent a few months ago. What type of challenge do you expect Daniel Dubois to bring to you on Saturday night?
We'll find out. We've already got a couple of hours left, so to everyone that's going to be there, you'll enjoy it, but we'll find out. I can't say I'm not Daniel. All I could do is focus on myself.
Indeed. Again, we will go back to the fighters, but I did want to speak to you first and foremost. Eddie, let's speak to your charge before we talk about Anthony Joshua. Let's talk about Riyadh season, Wembley edition. I spoke to yourself and Frank, and I was like, look, these Riyadh season events in Riyadh are fantastic. The one in LA was fantastic as well. But we need to get an event in London. We need to get an event to the National Stadium. We're only a couple of days away. What does it mean to have such a big event at Wembley?
Oh yeah, well, good evening everyone. And firstly, thank you, of course, to the Crown Prince and His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh for the vision, really. I think everybody felt that Riyadh season would be in Riyadh. And it's been just under a year now since we began boxing in Riyadh season, and the change that we've seen in the sport already has been quite phenomenal. But we didn't expect to see events in Los Angeles, to see events in London, and this one's very special. You know, it's the record. It's 96,000, where I think at a time when British boxing needs a shot in the arm, and it's a shot in the arm that's been provided time and time again by this man to my right. You know, I know he's not a fan of plaudits, but you have to give him to him, because we're all very proud of the way he's carried himself since the Olympic gold medal to changing the sport in this country. Every fighter in the country today has benefited off the rise, the performances, and most importantly, the behaviour of Anthony Joshua. He's been a role model. He's inspired boxing from the top to the bottom level of the grassroots of the game. And personally, on Saturday, I can't wait. You know, I think His Excellency is going to look around and see one of the greatest nights British boxing has ever seen. Just a phenomenal undercard. And as this fight draws closer, people start to realise what a great fight this is. Two dangerous British heavyweights fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we look back to the nights of Klitschko and Povetkin. AJ's done it all before, but Saturday will be particularly special. Three-time World Heavyweight Champion, and a list that's so thin: Muhammad Ali, Lennox Lewis. And again, I know he's focusing on the performance, but legacy awaits on Saturday night for the most thrilling night. And thanks to all the promoters and broadcasters and Queensbury and team, Spencer Brown, Gold Star, of course the Matchroom team, 258. It's been a brilliant collaboration with Riyadh Season, who will break records on Saturday night and give us one of the great sporting moments. Proud of Anthony Joshua, a full believer in exactly where he's at. Never seen him so calm, never seen him so calculated, never seen him so confident. I believe with all my heart, three-time World Heavyweight Champion on Saturday, and do not miss it. It's going to be a very special night.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Frank, same question to yourself. Obviously, look, you've had Daniel Dubois since the beginning, very much like Eddie's had Anthony since the beginning. You've believed in your man, even with the ups and downs. What a moment for him on Saturday to headline, as we've been hearing, in front of 96,000 people.
It is. First of all, again, I'd like to thank His Excellency and the team who made this happen. This is an iconic moment for British boxing, there's no doubt about it. It's in an iconic building. The last few press conferences we've had, they've also been in iconic venues, but this is going to be something special. Two massive big punchers, two really good boxers, both of them on a roll, both of them winning fighters. They both had their ups and downs, not just Daniel, both of them had their ups and downs. And so we are definitely going to see something special. And for me, there's nothing better than two Brits in the ring, in a competitive fight, in a big fight, to get atmosphere, 96,000 people, sold out. It is going to be something special. And Daniel, I do believe, is going to show what he's all about. I believed in him from day one, and he's come through everything, trials and tribulations, injuries, lots of different things happening behind the scenes, and he's now sitting here with his belt, and he's not letting it go. He's here to keep that belt, to confirm that he is the IBF champion against a very, very good fighter in AJ, who's been brilliant for British boxing, British sport, a man whose record's been impeccable as an amateur, got robbed as a amateur world champion, won the gold medal, two-time world champion. But then we've got the new kid on the block. And this new kid on the block can fight. He can punch. He's as big a puncher, if not a bigger puncher, than AJ. He can jab, same as AJ, and he's got mobility. He's fast, and he's a good finisher. So one thing's for sure, do not blink in this fight. Do not blink, because from the first bell to the last, it's going to be something extra, extra special. I believe this heavyweight fight could be the Britain's Hagler Hearns. That's how exciting it's going to be.
Daniel, I want to come back to you. I know you said no more questions, but I will try and force a few more questions from you, Daniel. You are now a champion, right? I mean, it's the dream from a kid to where you are now. You've got a new IBF belt in front of you. How's the confidence levels gone up since you've become champion?
The world title, I need to retain it and hold on to it. So, it's a great thing to have, but, I need to legitimize myself by winning this fight. So, I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready for a fight.
Do you expect to knock out Anthony Joshua?
By any means necessary. Knockout, whatever way it comes.
Points, knockout, whatever way it comes, you're ready for it?
For sure.
AJ? Not been knocked out before?
Yeah.
A lot of people have said they can knock you out. Francis Ngannou mentioned it before when we did the face-off. Other fighters have said it as well. When you hear those words, is it almost just a case of, okay, you have to do what you need to do as well to get the victory?
Definitely. Showed Daniel and his whole team the respect they deserve during training camp, and that's going to put me in good stead on Saturday. So I'm tough. So is he. As Frank said, we've got all similarities. So may the best man win, really. And good luck to him. Good luck to his team. Thank you to my team for their efforts as well. Yeah, British boxing. One thing when I first started boxing, I said I want to bring the heavyweight division back alive in the UK, and I think we've done that. So well done to everyone here as well.
You guys are being very respectful now, which is nice to see. It is a gentleman's sport. I did the face-off for both of you about a month ago, and it wasn't very nice towards the end of that face-off. I had to move back, and everyone accused me of ducking away from it. I wasn't. But you accused them of being disrespectful then.
Yeah.
What happened for those that maybe didn't get that clip? Why was he disrespectful?
It wasn't disrespectful. It was just a phrase I used, but he said, "Let's go now." And I clicked for a minute. I said, "What does he mean by that?" And then he repeated it again. And I just feel like anyone in here, if I was...
Boxing, this is what happens. This is boxing. These things happen. So, we're fighting Saturday. Let's go.
So as I was saying, at the press conference, I just feel like you should never let anyone take an inch, because they'll end up taking a mile. You know what I mean, Dan?
Sorry?
That's it.
He said, never take an inch, never let anyone take an inch, because they'll take a mile.
Dan, I've spoken to you all week, and all week it's been smiles. I sense that the switch is now on, because you're a few days away from going to war with Anthony Joshua. Has that switch turned? Because look, we spoke yesterday and you're all smiling. We spoke the day before and it was all smiles as well. It's a very different Daniel Dubois now.
No, I've been preparing for this for months, weeks, and it's been spoken about from the start of my career. So as a pro, so here we are now. I'm ready for it. I feel good. I'm ready.
Okay. As I cleared up the Don Charles thing right at the beginning, I do want to clear up one more thing. And forgive me, both of you, for doing this, but I do need to clear it up because a lot of people want to know about it as well. This spar that happened several years ago. Now, you, Frank, said in a recent documentary that you heard about the spar and you signed him basically because of that spar as well. Can we clear that up now? Obviously, look, we know you guys are going to fight for the real thing on Saturday, but can we clear up this sparring story, these sparring rumours? AJ?
You cracked me with a great shot, and it's my chance to get him back on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go, Dan.
Well, we sparred hundreds of rounds, innit?
You cracked him, Daniel. So you know you can hurt him.
It's sparring. Now we're fighting. It's different, you know.
I think it's different.
Ready to go. Move on now. You can move on now.
Oh.
Move on.
Okay. No tables flying, anything. Let's just keep this one very, very peaceful. Daniel, how do you win? Tell me how it works.
I ain't predicting nothing. I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to fight.
As expected. Anthony Joshua, how do you win on Saturday?
How do I win on Saturday? Can happen in a variety of ways, various ways, but I'm not dependent on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. I've got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit. Eddie
mentioned that you can be one of those, rare fighters that are a three-time heavyweight world champion. Does that matter to you at this stage of your career, or is it big fights?
Nah, I'll tell you, all the accolades and stuff come later, because I always say, it's crazy, you go back to your house on Sunday morning, have the same breakfast, put your clothes in the same laundry basket, nothing really changes, go to the same local gym. So for me, it's just, I just want to compete. I'm glad I've got some of the best challenges in front of me to compete with during my career. Brings the best out of me, so yeah, that's all it is really. I'm a competitive person, and I've got a competition that I need to attend to on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to it.
Daniel, final one, don't get upset with me, I'm going to ask you one more. You're walking out in front of 96,000, you are a heavyweight world champion. A lot of people think you've got a good chance here. What's that feeling going to be like when you take that ring walk?
Like I've taken it many times before, just this time it's on the biggest stage, so the energy's going to be higher.
And AJ, you've done that walk before. Again, I said, the Vladimir Klitschko fight I thought was your best performance, an iconic performance. You take that same walk again, what's that feeling going to be like for you?
The feeling?
The feeling.
Sorry?
The feeling. What's that feeling going to be like for you?
Be the same for all of us, Honestly, all of us. Many greats have walked it before. All of the undercard are going to walk it. I'm going to walk it. I'm going to feel just like any of them. But when I step into that ring, that's when I switch on and I'm ready. So the ring walk I'm not really interested in. That's just getting to the location to do my job. But once I'm in the ring, I'll be ready, 110%.
And final one to the promoters, Eddie and Frank, you've been there, both of you, you've done quite a lot in the sport. You've been at Wembley before and you've held big events. You've been at Wembley before and you've held big events. What's it going to mean to both of you to take that walk with your fighters to that ring for what is the biggest British fight card we've ever seen?
Well, listen, I'll be one of the lucky 96,000 with a great seat. But all that matters is this man to the right. The journey so far, this is his fourth fight at Wembley, going back to the Matt Legg fight where, even the Vladimir Klitschko fight, he was just a young man starting out with a huge heart and brute force. Now, I believe he's the best heavyweight in the world with every fundamental you need, and he's developed into a great fighter. Shout out Ben Davison, Barry, the team, done an amazing job. And this is what it's all about. This is what high-level sport is all about. When he boxed Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley, people still say to me that was the greatest sporting event I've ever witnessed. I've been to Ryder Cups, Centre Court or Wimbledon. Nothing touched it. This is the beauty of big-time boxing you will see unfold at the National Stadium on Saturday night. It's going to be an amazing night, and history shall be made for this man.
And Frank, final one to you. You've had some incredible nights as a boxing promoter. This probably will be one of your biggest, if not your biggest, if Daniel Dubois can beat Anthony Joshua in front of 96,000 at Wembley.
Without a doubt. On Saturday night, I genuinely believe that Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are going to provide something that's going to be extra special, not just in boxing, in sport. And I believe that Daniel Dubois will cement his legacy in boxing.
We'll find out on Saturday. Is it going to be and still, or is it going to be and the new? Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, IBF heavyweight champion. Both fighters are going to pose for photos and do a face-off.
So interesting that between the pair of them. Daniel Dubois was how he has been most of the week. He was on good form, he was kind of bouncy, there was an effervescence about him. He's certainly not And with the promoters as well, you get the feeling that there's so much on the line for the pair of them that, given how experienced they are, they're not going to indulge in any kind of tomfoolery. They know that it's not really going to make too much of a difference at this stage, because what's so fascinating about heavyweight boxing, Carl, is that the stakes when two fighters enter the ring at any weight are always really high, but at heavyweights it's even higher because that level of jeopardy just is greater than it is in probably any other sporting event in the world. And everybody involved in this knows it. They all know what could happen. They're all convinced their man's going to win. Joshua's convinced he's going to win. Dubois convinced he's going to win. But deep down, they know that the bell goes and all bets are off.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you're saying there. I think that both guys look to be extremely confident. They're backing themselves to win the fight. Interesting that he didn't say too much, Daniel, about the Don Charles rumours that we're hearing.